You're listening to Psych to Parent, where we turn brain science into tiny wins at home. I'm Dr. Amy, your not-so-typical school psychologist, mom of two, and endurance athlete. I love a good data set and a diagnostic manual. But I also forget permission slips, overthink IEP emails, and occasionally replay the moment I snapped at my kids in the car. In other words, I'm in the messy middle with you, not above it. This show is for parents of big feeling, big thinking kids who are tired of vague advice and Pinterest perfect behavior charts. Each episode, I'll pull back the curtain on what I see in real evaluations, school meetings, my private practice, and my own kitchen, and translate the research into simple scripts, tiny routines, and nervous system friendly tweaks you can actually use. Think of it as a nervous system rehab meets mindset coaching meets a smart, slightly spicy, non-judgy friend in your earbuds. We'll take one real life challenge at a time and shrink it down into 1 or 2 tiny wins you can start this week. No perfection, no 47-step sticker systems, just small, repeatable shifts that add up over time. Quick legal-ish note in plain English. This podcast is for education and support. It's not therapy, it does not create a clinical relationship, and it's not a substitute for personalized medical or mental health advice. If you're worried about your child's safety or mental health, or your own, please reach out to a trusted professional. Okay, deep breath, drop your shoulders. You're not behind and you're not alone. Let's get psyched to parent. The kitchen is quiet, except for the hum of the dishwasher and the tap, tap, tap of your thumb refreshing the grade portal like it's a slot machine. And then it loads. A new comment under missing assignments. Bright kid, but doesn't apply himself. And your body reacts before your brain does. Tight chest, hot face, and that little spike of panic. Because your brain doesn't think, one missing assignment. Your brain thinks, is this ADHD? Is he depressed? Is he lying? Is school too hard? Is he going to fail? And the wildest part is your kid might be 3 feet away looking fine, eating chips, talking about a video game, seemingly unbothered, while you are internally drafting a resignation letter from your own nervous system. If this is your house, welcome. Because a lot of the time, this is not a motivation problem. It's a load problem, a systems problem, an executive function problem. And today, we're going to stop treating it like a character flaw. Okay, let's get oriented what we're doing today and who this is for. Hi, I'm Dr. Amy, school psychologist and parent coach, and this is Psych to Parent. This episode is for the parent of the kid who is smart, sometimes hilarious, verbal, creative, and yet missing work piles up. Long-term projects disappear into the void. They seem in la-la land. They swear they did it, but it never gets turned in. And you keep hearing so much potential. But today I want you to leave with this. What executive function actually is, why this often shows up in middle school and high school, even if elementary school was fine, what a good evaluation should answer and not just label, and what to ask for so you get a Monday morning plan, and tiny wins for this week that don't turn your home into a compliance factory. But first, before we fix anything, can we name the trap this season pulls parents into? This season can pull parents into a miserable role. You're not just mom or dad. You're the human reminder app, the executive assistant, the project manager, the grade portal analyst, and somehow also the person who's supposed to stay warm and connected. And you end up stuck between 2 painful stories. He doesn't care. I'm failing him. And I want to say this clearly. If you're in this season and you feel like you're coming apart a little, that's not because you're dramatic. It's because you're carrying a load your nervous system was not designed to carry indefinitely. So here's the reframe I want you to hold to from the beginning. This is often a skills and systems problem, not a moral problem. So why does this blow up now? Why middle school? Why high school? Why this sudden nosedive? Middle school and high school are basically an executive function obstacle course, wearing a hoodie. Elementary school often has one teacher, one system, more reminders, more external structure. And when we look at middle school and high school, it looks different. There can be 6 to 8 teachers, multiple platforms, and somehow all of them are the quote place things are posted. There's long-term projects, more writing, more reading load, less scaffolding, more independence before the brain is ready sometimes. Demands go up, structure goes down. So a kid can look fine and then suddenly look like they're falling apart. Same kid, different load. And then adults act shocked, like the brain was supposed to quietly upgrade overnight because the schedule got more complicated. Middle school is basically, here are 7 teachers, 3 platforms, a rotating schedule, and a long-term project due in 3 weeks. And also, please manage your time perfectly. And when your kid can't, we call it, quote, not applying himself, which respectfully, no. Because if the system got harder and the support got smaller and the brain is still developing, that's not a character problem. That's math. Okay, so if it's not about trying harder, we need to name what skill system is getting overload. Enter executive function. Executive function is your brain's get it done system. It's air traffic control, not the planes, the tower. If the tower is overloaded, planes don't land. Not because the planes are bad, because the system can't coordinate the load. Executive function includes initiation, sustained attention, working memory, planning, organization, time management, task switching, self-monitoring, emotional regulation. So missing assignment isn't just one problem. It can be the final stop of 10 breakdown points. It kind of looks like this. Forgot to write it down. Then don't know where to start. Then overwhelmed. Then avoided. Then lost directions. Then didn't want to email the teacher. Then ran out of time. Embarrassed. And then ghosted the whole thing. That's not doesn't care. That's needs more scaffolding. And once you see it like that, you start recognizing the patterns families live inside. You might have a kid who can talk your ear off about a topic they love. They can debate. They can create. They can ace a test after cramming. But they can't consistently start, track, plan, finish, turn it in. So adults default to, he just needs to be more responsible. And I want to gently say this. Responsibility is the goal. Yes, 1,000%. But executive function is the bridge. And right now, the bridge is overloaded. So what happens? You as a parent get into this cycle. You check the portal, you panic, you remind. Your kid says, I know. You remind again. Your kid shuts down, argues, or disappears into a screen. You get louder or more controlling, not because you want to, but because you're scared. And then everybody goes to bed feeling gross. And the next day, the portal updates again like it has a personal vendetta against you and your kid. Which is why the behavior you see, the avoidance, the shutdown, the I don't care kind of attitude, usually means something more vulnerable than it looks. When older kids avoid, shut down, or act like they don't care, they might be telling you, I don't know where to start and I hate feeling stupid. Or I feel overwhelmed and I don't want more feedback. Or if I act like I don't care, it hurts less than failing. Or I can do it once, but I can't do it every day. So our job is to reduce shame and increase scaffolding because shame does not improve executive function. It just makes kids hide. And I'm going to add something that matters. Your child's nervous system is not the only one in this house. You're allowed to have a nervous system too. You're allowed to feel scared. And you're allowed to stop carrying this alone. Now let's go school world. This is your school psych in your back pocket kind of moment. Here's my slightly spicy truth. Psychoeducational testing, it gets oversold as a magic power. Here's my slightly spicy truth. Psychoeducational testing gets oversold as a magic answer and undersold as a practical tool. It's not a label machine. It's not a report you hand to a school and hope for the best. It's a translation. Why a smart, good kid is struggling and what adults should do differently. And here's my standard. If it doesn't change what happens on Monday morning, it wasn't used well, because I'm not interested in a 17-page report that ends with, he should try using a planner. It's like, give me a break. A planner is not a treatment plan. A planner is a piece of paper that can also be lost. So if the evaluation doesn't tell us where the bottleneck is, what's driving it, and what supports we're starting Monday, then it's basically an expensive PDF that just sits in your inbox and makes you feel like you're failing in higher definition. So for the kid who is smart but failing, or smart but struggling, a good evaluation doesn't just say ADHD, yes or no. It should answer, where is the bottleneck? Is it the initiation, working memory, organization, planning, time estimation, self-monitoring? What's driving it? Is it inattentive ADHD? Is it anxiety? Is it burnout, depression, sleep, learning differences? Or yes, a combo platter. What does it look like across settings and with different teachers? Not one snapshot from one class. It should also answer this question. What's the plan in school language and home language? Not be responsible. A real plan who does what, when, and how will measure if it's working. Parents also ask, truly, quality matters more than the label on the evaluation. So let's translate this into school language you can actually use. Here are a few sentences that don't start a war and still get things done. When we say not applying himself, can we define what that looks like? Starting work, planning, organization, sustaining attention, so we can match supports to the barrier. You can say, we want a plan that reduces missing work. What system will track assignments? When will check-ins happen? And how will long-term projects be chunked? You'd also say, we're open to accommodations, and we also want skill-building support. What organizational or homework support interventions can the school provide? That last one, that's your gentle power move. Now, what should a real Monday morning plan include? Like, what are we actually asking for besides try harder? A usable plan is a mix of use executive load. This might look like reducing distraction, clear written directions, extra time where it truly helps, structured organization supports, fewer gotcha expectations. Number 2 is skill building supports. This is where we teach executive function. This is the part people skip because adults love saying, use your planner like it's a spell. But if your kid can't consistently plan, the solution isn't planner harder. We want skill building plus structure plus reps. Number 3, systems. These make success more automatic. Chunk long-term projects into mini steps with mini deadlines. Scheduled check-ins, not ask for help. One consistent tracking system, and externalize time. Use timers, calendars, visible steps, maybe an app. Number 4 is data, so that the plan can improve. This is doing things like track missing assignments weekly, track completion, track stress. This is not to punish, it's so you can adjust, because the goal is not perfect. The goal is less drowning. Now I'm going to give you scripts, because you shouldn't have to invent perfect wording while your cortisol is doing parkour. Script number 1, responsibility reframe. Say something like this. I hear responsibility is the goal. I'm seeing executive function demands outpacing skills. What scaffolds can we put in place while he builds those skills. Script number 2, get specific without accusing. I'm not trying to make excuses. I'm trying to identify the barrier. Is the main issue starting, tracking, completing, or turning in? Script number 3, a Monday morning plan. Can we write down the top 3 supports we're starting Monday? Who owns each and when we're reviewing the data? Script number 4, when you have concerns about attention. He can look calm and still be struggling internally. We're seeing patterns of missing assignments and difficulty planning. We'd like to evaluate attention and executive functioning so we stop guessing. Let's talk about home supports. Not a total lifestyle overhaul, not a family meeting with a slide deck, tiny wins. Here are your tiny wins for this week. Here are a few tiny wins that reduce executive load without turning you into the homework police. Tiny win number 1, 5-minute landing pad after school. There's a backpack spot, a charger spot, a turn-in folder. Tiny win number 2, 2 checkpoints for projects. Checkpoint 1, directions and rubric captured. Checkpoint number 2, first tiny steps started. Tiny win number 3, 1 missing assignment experiment. Recover 1 this week, not 12. We're not doing a full archaeological dig through the portal, just 1. Tiny win number 4, reset before requests. Snack, water, 10 minutes, decompress, then talk homework. Tiny win number 5, externalize time. Set a 10-minute timer to start, not to finish. Pick 1 is enough. Here's your reflection question from this episode. Where are you asking your child to use a skill they don't reliably have yet? And what 1 layer of scaffolding could replace that this week? Okay, quick wrap up. If this episode hit home, grab the school psych in your back pocket, the school testing toolkit. The link is in the show notes. And if you want more support like this, join my Tiny Wins email list. Short and built for real life. And if you know a parent who is refreshing the grade portal like it's a full-time job, send this episode to them. Share it with a friend who needs the reframe. And make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss what's coming next. I'm really honored to be one of the people cheering you on as you parent your strong-willed, big-feeling, big-hearted kiddo, especially in that very specific season where the dishwasher is humming, the Chromebook is dead again, and you're refreshing the grade portal like it's a slot machine. Like, okay. And if today hit you in the gut, I want you to remember the reframe. If this episode hit home, grab the school psych in your back pocket, the school testing toolkit. The link is in the show notes. If you want more support like this, join my Tiny Wins email list. Short, practical, and built for real life. And if you know a parent who is refreshing the grade portal like it's a full-time job, send this episode to them. Share it with a friend who needs the reframe. And make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss what's coming next. I'm really honored to be one of the people cheering you on as you parent your strong-willed, big-feeling, big-hearted kiddo, especially in that very specific season where the dishwasher is humming, the Chromebook is dead again, and you're refreshing the grade portal like it's a slot machine. Like, okay. And if today hits you in the gut, I want you to remember the reframe. This is so often not a motivation problem. It's a load problem, a systems problem, an executive function air traffic control problem, where the planes are fine, but the tower is overloaded, so nothing lands. So the next time you see missing assignments and your brain jumps to, is it ADHD? Is it anxiety? Is he lying? Is he going to fail? Am I failing my kid? Pause and ask a better question. Where's the bottleneck? Starting, sustaining attention, working memory, planning, organization, time estimation, turning it in. Because bright kid but doesn't apply himself is not a plan. And a planner is not a treatment plan, respectfully. Pick 1 tiny win from today. 1 is enough. We're not doing an archaeological dig through 12 missing assignments this week. We're doing 1 layer of scaffolding and one better question. And the next time you sit at that tiny round table in that tiny chair, remember, schools have expertise, and you are the expert on your child. Your insight is not extra, it's essential. You're not behind, you're building a partnership, and you're building skills, yours and theirs. One small, doable step at a time. Until next time, friends. Thank you for hanging out with me on Psych to Parent. I'm Dr. Amy, your not so typical school psychologist, and I'm genuinely glad you're here doing this work instead of quietly white knuckling it and blaming yourself. Your tiny win from today's episode is simple. Do not overhaul your entire parenting style. Pick one idea, one sentence, or one tiny shift and try it in a low stakes moment this week. Then notice what changes, even if it is just by 1%. If you want more support, head over to psychtoparent.com. You'll find show notes, simple scripts, and parent-friendly guides that go with these episodes. While you're there, make sure you join the Tiny Wins mailing list so you get weekly brain-based tips, real-life examples from my work with families, and first dibs on new workshops and resources. It's the easiest way for us to stay connected beyond the podcast. If this podcast was helpful, it really does matter when you tap follow or subscribe. Leave a quick review or text it to a friend who is parenting a big-feeling, big-hearted kid too. This podcast is for education and encouragement. It is not therapy, and it's not a substitute for individualized care. If you're worried about your child or yourself, please reach out to a trusted professional in your area. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are building something new, one tiny win at a time. I'll see you in the next episode, probably with a cold coffee in hand, cheering you on.